Well then, I'm John.
That was an episode. Goodbye.
That what? Yeah, see ya. Oh, fine. Okay,
Right,
I guess we'll do the review. I'm John Ritlin. This is
The Turbinator.
We have an AEW Dynamite review from Charleston, West Virginia, which, as you point out,
is like 10 or 15 miles from the town of Nitro, which would have been a better place to have it because it'd be AEW on TNT in Nitro.
does Nitro... I didn't even know Nitro...
And Shivani would be there like, what? What do I do?
This is the single most confusing thing in the history of our sport. So,
Oh no!
I do want to point out something really, really quickly. So, Sandra,
Something really, really quick.
You talked to my exes, didn't you? So
Fastest man alive.
explains why you can't get a date. So, speaking of weird references, though, we'll actually get there later. So, Cody Rhodes put out some tweet, or I think it was AEW to put out some tweet, and it's Cody, Sandra Gray, who was the seamstress for WWE. She appeared in some earlier episodes of Total Divas. They're partnering with Susan G. Komen for something. Now, she's a cancer survivor. She beat it. I'm so happy about that. However, I don't care what the context of this was. If I'm going to pick on WWE for partnering with Susan G. Komen, a.k.a. Susan G. Scammon, I'm going to hammer AEW for doing the same thing.
Fair is fair.
They're a startup company. If Sandra got saved, and got cured of cancer, that's great.
Yeah.
Susan G. Komen is a scam. So, Tony Schiavone is right there at a jet that, as you point out,
Looked like it was straight out of the 60s or 70s, or like from Starcade 3 or something.
they took Jim Crockett's old jet. I bet they did. I mean, not that he
They
had
did reference. I think Jim Crockett's supposed to be like appearing on AEW at some point.
What?
Or
I heard Starcast is where it's actually
Starcast,
supposed
that's
to
what
be.
it was, yeah.
That would be something. If he appeared at Full Gear, just in the crowd or something, that would be pretty cool.
Crockett at Full Gear.
He's going to do that voice throughout the entire review, by the way.
You know it.
Woo. I think Matt. I think.
I just need a big enough cardboard box.
Zach Ryder would appreciate that. I could see what I have at my work. I don't know if I'd have something big enough for that.
I
So,
might have something out in the garage.
I do want to point out something though. The Shivani Cody Jet thing, then getting in the limo and the talking, it reminded me very much of when Mean Gene and Ric Flair did the whole hype thing for Starrcade '93. Now, that was on a pay-per-view though. They probably could have saved that thing for a pay-per-view because it was good at first. The next part felt like padding.
Yeah.
That's not bad. This was a great way to hype the match. But I think they could have saved this for a pay-per-view.
They could have broken this up
They could have.
over the show
They could have done,
and had this lead until before the main event.
yeah. Which, yeah, that's a good point. I mean, I get why they put where they put it, but anyway.
They definitely need real producers on staff to really break up the flow of the show and kind of guide the show into a more cohesive program.
It had its moments. I do want. This was better than last week's. I did like this though, and Shivani looks like he's having a lot of fun.
Oh yeah.
He really does. We get recaps of last week where Mox is talking to Tony Khan off camera. Thankfully, Tony Khan was dressed up like Orange Cassidy, and they shared a picture of it, and I wanted to hammer my skull open. But he's a fan, and he's got the money. So anyway, Mox wants a match.
He's so rich he can afford denim.
Is that like Venom? Venom. No.
Sorry.
Not like that. So anyway, they're going to get an unsanctioned match. It's going to be unsanctioned against Kenny Omega.
Of course it is.
That's I get that they built this feud for a while and they couldn't have it happen all out. That's the third unsanctioned match they've had since they started TV.
Yes, and at least two of them were for Mox.
Yes. Well, one was against Janela, so Mox had to carry him. And then you had Janela and the other one on AEW Dark. You can't keep doing the hardcore stuff too often. On a pay-per-view, I get it.
Counterpoint.
Okay?
Jon Moxley becomes frustrated because any wins he has don't count.
Okay.
If wins and losses matter in the show, the worst thing you could have is an unsanctioned match.
And he did mention that. And you're right.
And he made that a sticking point for him. It is being used for more than just to have a hardcore match or just to have a death match. It is guiding a story along.
And that's true. You do it too much and it's going to lose its impact. That's a major thing about why I don't think Jimmy Havoc's going to last as long. I like Jimmy Havoc. But anyway, we get JR and Excalibur starting now in commentary. Tony Schiavone joins later. We start with Sammy Guevara versus Adam Page. I like this. This was a good opening match. We've seen Sammy Guevara
Adam
live.
Page, nay.
And I'm saddled with these horrible puns. So, no, that was a great pun. Yeah. There was an apron spot, of course. Hardest part of the ring.
Yeah.
More apron spots. We got a lot of great action. I like this. Sammy, much more focused as a heel. Lost to Panda Head stuff a while ago.
Oh, this crowd just absolutely hates him for the best reasons, I hope.
And he is really good. Now, they popped for some of the stuff he was doing, but he was healing it up. That smooth as silk kip up that he did.
Yes.
It was great stuff. Some great near falls. That buckshot.
That's great shit, pal.
That buckshot lariat is absolutely amazing.
Yeah.
That freaking finisher is great. So, Adam Page wins. I'm fine with that, because Inner Circle, even though it's a kind of objectively stupid name, gets their heat back a little bit later. Of course, Adam Page won, so he's going to take his horse down. After beating up a Mexican, he's going to take his horse down the Old Town Road.
He's going to build that wall in front of Mexico.
Trump is now...
Sorry, he wants to do cowboy shit, apparently. Ugh.
Trump's favorite wrestler, Adam Hangman Page.
Hangman.
Yes, I probably saw
Hangman Page. That's how JR says it, right?
But and during the commercial, we get the Rock and Roll Express and Private Party. Yeah. Which, they were happy to meet the Street Profits. I'm sorry. No, I'm sorry. Both Private Party are...
We want the vape!
They start doing that, I'm gonna fucking lose it, I swear to God.
You really can't argue one team is better than the other, because both Private Party and Street Profits are fantastic.
I would say Private Party's more even. They could have decent singles careers.
Yeah.
Quen more than the other.
Yeah.
You take Ford away from Angelo, and I'm sorry.
And then you pair Angelo with Tucker Knight, and you could have the actually Forgotten Sons. Oof.
Oh, that's so sad. Anyway, we have... He gets shirtless on SmackDown. I'm going to rage.
Let's move on.
Shana, from Portugal but living in France. Never heard of her. Intrigued because she has a good look versus Hikaru Shida.
Who also has a good look.
She has a very good look.
That's fine.
This was bullshit. You were as fine as I was while watching this. This was actually really good. This is how you show Hikaru looks like a star.
Yeah.
So do some others that are in the women's division, but she looks like a star.
This wasn't just Untitled Jobber.
Yeah, she got in some offense, and it was good stuff. That chair-assisted knee strike, where Shana just sold it. Sorry if I get her name wrong. This is some good stuff.
Shana.
It's the White Culture Club. Wait.
Anyway.
So we get some good near falls, some really good stuff. This maybe went on a minute too long, but if you're gonna, say, hey, if you sign with us or you want to do some more stuff, Shana, we will push you. She got a good showing in here.
Yeah, finishes off with the shinier wizard.
Yeah, and we got that, and Sheeta looked like a star.
She doesn't have the shiniest wizard.
Well, no, that's because Tegan Knox's, knee braces glow.
Yeah.
So we get that. We then get Brandy. It recaps to this Brandy thing, and Brandy's got all these cards and this weird stuff and this fake hair, and Kong's cutting this fake hair.
Why is she applying lipstick when she already has that lipstick on?
You had the point.
Why is she applying mascara when she already had that shit on? Do women just reapply the same makeup when it looks like they've just applied it?
That is a fair question. Women in the comments, let us know. All 5 of you that watch the show. I'm great towards women. That's why they watch this show.
Right.
But Kong's there. This reminded me
of... It has nothing to do with the fact that wrestling has a huge male leaning in terms of its demographic.
Right, but we've been... Hang on, just one little pushback there. We've been to Without a Cause shows, but especially the 5 shows, there's at least 30% women there.
Right.
I mean, that's at least something. It's not 5%.
Still stands.
It does stand. I'm just saying there are...
Plus, there's them YouTube statistics.
That's true. the statistics do show that it's almost 100% men. Anyway, Kong's there messing with like the fake hair, so it's like when she messed with the dolls before she debuted in WWE. It's nice they're going to use Kong.
Karma's a bitch.
You happy about that one?
No, because Awesome Kong's,
objectively better.
Not a bitch.
That's true. Well, some may disagree. I don't, because I think she's awesome. Wasn't even intending for that one. So we then get Rock and Roll Express with the tag team championships, and then Santino and Ortiz just blindside them and beat them up and throw Ricky through goddamn part of the stage that wasn't at all gimmicked.
And after all that beatdown, they decided not to take the titles with them because, they don't want to cause too much trouble.
Right. Well, I mean, it would be the whole thing of Hispanic stealing things.
What do you think of the belts?
Well, I think the belts are beautiful. I think they're beautiful. I think they're very nice. It reminds me of when Impact redesigned their stuff, which I liked Impact's belts, by the way. This was a very good idea. And it got some great heat on Santana and Ortiz.
Yeah.
We're going to get the Rock and Roll Express possibly at Full Gear. They're wrestling in the NWA studio show.
More has changed.
The Young Bucks arrived not a moment too late, by the way.
Yeah.
Good
Here
job.
we come to say the ooh.
But
Ow.
I like this, though. I like this.
Yeah.
This is how you use Legends, and Ricky and Robert are still really, really good, despite the fact that they could almost qualify for AARP status.
I believe they can.
I think they can. I think that's, 50?
Yeah.
55 or something like that. Almost Social Security. I think it's 65. So, we then get Cody and Shivani. We get more of the limo stuff. This is where it went on a bit too long. I still love it, though.
Yeah.
Because they revisited the history. Shivani working with Dusty. That was good. It just went on a little bit long.
Here's how I would have done this whole shindig.
Okay.
So, you open up with the jet. They go to the limo, they start to talk.
Okay.
After the Rock and Roll Express and the private party meet, have another quick segment of them still talking in the limo.
Oh, break up that second one.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
And
okay.
As the matches continue, you get little brief moments here and there, because this could it was probably just a pre-recorded segment.
Oh, definitely.
So it's not something you needed to play all at once.
Play a minute after the Rock and Roll Express private party thing. Not during the commercial, but right after you come back.
Otherwise, you've got people in the arena having to watch this long, drawn-out conversation.
Yep.
And you've got people who had already walked up to the ring.
Yeah.
So, they're watching this, and they're like, well, are we going to get to a match?
Yeah, that was the thing. When they cut back to it, so, I agree with you. Have a minute of this before the women's match, because the women's match was still got in time and everything. I agree with you. Actually, having multiple segments of it, and not one lengthy segment in the middle, would have been a pretty good idea. We then get...
I have those from time to time.
You have plenty of them. That's why it's a great show. We get the Rick and Morty crossover. I hate it.
I didn't care for it. I didn't really watch any Rick and Morty.
What I've seen, I was not impressed with. Here comes the worst moment of the show. QT Marshall, John Silver, Alex Reynolds versus the best friend.
Because Orange Cassidy is involved.
Oh, no. It's because Chuck Taylor was there also, but it's just the best friends in Orange Cassidy. I hate it. What do you think?
Well, Diet Corny, I didn't really care for the match. It didn't really appeal all that much to me, and it was good, but it just wasn't all that.
Just gonna run with that, aren't you?
Only when you let it show.
I don't like Orange Cassidy. He's got his fans. That's fine. I don't. I hate the gimmick, and I'm sticking with it.
I'm hoping that at some point he does more than a drop kick and a dive.
Beretta's the one guy that could be a star out of this.
And you could totally fantasy book that one as a video on how you would, we talked about it some, but,
Well, here's briefly. They were alluding to Chuck Taylor going heel and Beretta being upset in New Japan, and then they ended that because they went to AEW.
Yeah.
It was what it was. It's just, you can imagine how red I got, but I'm not going to dwell on it too much because I've already stated how much I hate the Orange Cassidy gimmick. Jericho Cody contract signing. I don't know what Jericho was wearing, but he got it from a dollar store.
Yeah.
That
JR described it as purple and gold. JR, those are pumpkins. They are not gold. They are orange.
Yeah.
Have you been partaking in a little bit too much of some whiskey?
He has it under his hat. His hat drinks.
Yeah.
So, what it did happen, it went on too long. They built it up fine. They did. They didn't make it where it was a big brawl. They teased a brawl, but they didn't go with it. That's not like the other place, which you might want to stop.
That was more of a wink, wink, nudge, nudge,
Yeah.
rather than a hammer to a throne, if that analogy works.
Oh, God, right. Now, I do want to say, though, that Jericho was like, gentleman's thing, that kind of stuff. I'm being a nice guy. But then suddenly this video pops up, and it's Sammy Guevara, blogging.
Oh, no. But before that, during the handshake, Jericho goes to turn away, and Cody pulls him up close, and Jericho didn't control himself, so he almost ended up planning a kiss on Cody there. And that would have been hilarious.
It would have been.
You should have totally Bugs Bunnied that and just ran off.
I would have popped for that, but we did get Sammy Guevara blogging, and Jake Hagar is beating up Dustin, and
then
what does he
knees
do?
him in the balls, because of course he does. Of course he does.
I mean, it's like Jake.
And then he slams Dustin's arm and using the door.
And which reminded me a lot of Halloween Havoc 91 when they did it with Dustin and Barry Windham. They did Barry Windham's arm because Barry was injured and they needed to find a way to write him off. And that brought in Ricky Steamboat to team with Dustin Rhodes. Don't do that now because Ricky Steamboat probably shouldn't be in the ring anymore. But I liked it. You alright, man?
Yeah.
Okay.
Just my shoulder a little.
But I liked that. I thought it was pretty good. And of course, the knee and the balls. I mean, come on.
Yeah.
It was funny. Nakamura was happy. We then get Omega. You know what? I'm just going to let you take it.
He came out, so before he came out, they had the whole Undertale opening again. And then, whatever symbol they had up there got batted away by a sock. And
it was a New Japan-like thing.
Yeah. And then, you got Sans voice from Undertale playing. And, so Kenny Omega comes out to Megalovania, the theme song for Sans from Undertale, if you haven't played it.
I haven't, so I didn't get it.
Right, which is why I'm explaining, because I know that some people haven't.
No, it's okay.
But anyway, after he came out dressed up as Sans, we got, the Jackson 2 dressed up as Ryu and Ken. For some odd reason, I think it was Matt Jackson was dressed up as Ryu, had a white belt instead of a black belt, which meant he was a complete amateur.
I mean, if you seen him try to wrestle.
Why did you revisit the Street Fighter thing again?
Yeah, that's fair. Why didn't you come dressed?
You're funded by a billionaire. You could afford a different costume.
Could have. That was a bit odd.
You could have dressed up as other Undertale characters, like the Great Papyrus, or something.
I'm glad he knows what the fuck he's talking about. Cause I sure don't.
But no, it was just one of those things like. Why reuse those? Just do something new.
I do agree.
But anyway.
This was straight video game wrestling. You had more apron spots. Omega pins Evans. It was a bad match. Do not misunderstand. The match was video game wrestling. I'm not the biggest fan of it, but...
Quick question.
Okay.
What kind of match was this?
Video game?
No. What kind of match was it?
It was a 6-man tag.
What was the match before it?
Oh, god damn. Another 6-man tag.
What's the match after this, John?
It's a tag match.
Yeah.
There's too many tag matches. By the way, they faced Kip Sabian in the Hybrid 2 Electric Boogaloo. That's Jack Evans.
I believe the Hybrid 2 is all three of them.
No.
Because I thought just the Hybrid was...
No. I think just Jack Evans and
Helica.
And Helicbro, if they had Riddle team up with them. The match wasn't bad.
Yeah.
Do not misunderstand me. The Bucks are outside, the ring, and then Ortiz and Santana are dressed up as fans and mugging them and beating them up and everything. And
just as fans.
And then don't worry, we're gonna get to some of the blows here in a second, but they attack the Bucks and JR seems disgusted because they're Hispanics, so that must be it. That's it, right? That's why JR's like, no, anyway, because they're heels. Yeah. Speaking of something objectively disgusting, here's the Librarians. I hate it. Look, Leva looks good, and she maybe can do some stuff. It's shit!
The reason for the Librarians was to generate some temporary heat so that the pop for Jon Moxley would be that much greater. Because he stepped out, got to the ring.
Paradigm shift.
Yep.
To Peter Avalon, cuts a promo, hyping up facing Mox, Mox facing Mox, the Spider-Man meme, cue that.
Trust no one, not even yourself.
He's hyping up to face Omega at Full Gear. And it's going to be violence like you've never seen in American wrestling. So people are going to have to lose limbs, essentially. Please don't make it like deathmatch wrestling, because I want something...
It's a December to dismember.
Yeah, whoever came up with that should have been dismembered, quite frankly. It should have been Vince. It's like violence you've never seen. Well, don't make it like deathmatch wrestling, because I want something good with talented people in it.
I mean, it would be with talented people. Whether or not it's good is completely subjective.
They're going to do good. By the way, I want to make mention really, really quickly. We're going to have Full Gear predictions up after next week's AEW Dynamite.
Yes.
So anyway, Aubrey as the ref for our main event. It's SCU, Scorpio Sky, and Frankie Kazarian versus the Lucha Bros. And this is the reason I wore the shirt, because I honestly thought that the Lucha Bros were going to win.
I wore this shirt because I, have to dress up nice for work.
You do. Phoenix walking the ropes at one point, hitting a big old kick because Phoenix is just that talented.
All the other kids and the Phoenix kick, because he kept calling him Ray Phoenix.
Because I think
Justin Roberts called him Ray Phoenix.
JR kept thinking that, it sounded like peanuts. That's probably why he didn't want to say it. I don't know. JR keeps saying Hangman instead.
Anyway,
so we get some dives, some good work. I like the stuff, but Kazarian brained himself on a Hurricanrana on the apron.
Yeah.
Like,
apparently.
I hope he's okay, because that looked bad. Sky pins Pentagon after all that.
He uses the most dangerous move in professional wrestling. And it ain't the RKO.
It's Seth Rollins' move.
The small package.
Taking unnecessary shots at Rollins. No, they're not necessary. I liked it SCU won.
Yeah.
The Lucha Bros should have won.
Truly. They should have.
Now, that doesn't mean SCU winning is bad.
Yeah.
They can go somewhere with this. Lucha Bros had a bunch of heat on them from beating up, laying out Daniels and everything, and SCU getting the revenge by winning the titles. So I get that. But the Lucha Bros were kind of the hot hand, and you maybe should have gone with them, because you could have some face tag teams roll up. Now who do you have them face? The Dark Order? Who gives a shit about the fucking Dark Order? Fire the goddamn Dark Order. Okay, don't fire. You know what?
Change the gimmick.
To something good. B, you know what, B minus?
Yeah, B minus is what I was thinking.
Because I had to knock it down some because of one of the 6-man tags. But also,
a minus is also known as a negative, and if you want to be negative, you can grade on the poll up here.
And you could also leave comments. You could hit the like. Don't hit the dislike. Hit the subscribe. Hit the bell. Apparently, we have a bell. Want to make mention really quickly. I will be reviewing Crown Jewel. You know why? Because I watched, so you don't have to. It's going to be objectively bad.
Speaking of dismembering, anyway, yeah. This has been Real Honesty with John Ritland. I am not John Ritland. I am the Durbinator. And you have a great night.
Bonesaw is ready.